Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, and sorry for the slight delay. We hope that you're all doing well and are staying safe. We'd like to welcome you to today's webinar. Dr. Moshe Ventolila, who will be conducting the session, has been the manager of VisiMix's customer support for over 12 years. He has both a BSc and an MSc in chemical engineering in the field of reactors design provided by the Technion, which is the Israel Institute of Technology. He was involved for more than 15 years in technological transfer as a pilot plant manager and as a project manager in an API company. In conjunction with this, he has his PhD thesis in the chemistry field provided by the Hebrew University of Jerusalem in Israel. His dissertation describes the application of practical methods for scale-up process in a specific field in the chemical process industry to show its validity to the chemical industry. He was part of the team that wrote a syllabus for a BSc degree program in pharmaceutical engineering, contributing to the relevant studies for the chemical engineering profession. He was a team member of a committee that wrote the program syllabus for the pharmaceutical engineering BSc degree program in Israel, in the Azrieli College of Engineering in Jerusalem. During this activity, he programmed and built a complex of student laboratories for process engineering, biotechnology, analytical laboratory, and pharmaceutical technologies. In this college, he is also a lecturer in reactor design and also for principle of fluid mechanics. In this session, we will present our new product, which is a new tool for users called the VisiMix Certificate. This new tool will help engineers get a complete training about the use of the software and obtain, at the end of the training, a certificate for VisiMix users. During this webinar, we will take the opportunity to emphasize how to improve the experiment design and avoid typical non-efficient equipment setups. During the webinar, please feel free to write any questions in the chat box. We will try to answer them during the session or afterwards via email. Enjoy today's session. Moshe, the microphone is yours.
So thank you very much, Marcy, for the introduction, and thank you very much for attending in this meeting today. As we are regularly doing once a month, 2 months, to try to provide to you better tools to progress and to answer the main important question that you have in your field. How to progress to the next step, to the technology transfer, to the project evaluation, and to give you a capability to instruct yourself as a basic point, and after that, with our customers to support the progress. So we'll talk today about the certificate, but we'll take in advance this meeting together to give you some points of view about why we need to instruct ourselves in mixing, and why we need a tool that will be very feasible for you, and will give you in a fast way a very complete idea about the mixing in your equipment that will provide you the next step. That is to advise, to progress with your technology transfer from the pilot to the production, from site to site, in a very confidence way. Always remember, we are in the coronavirus, so prevent yourself, as explained from the beginning of this very tough period of our life. We need you. You are people that are working in the industry and are influencing in some way to protect ourselves. So we need that you will be healthy and in a good way to progress, and energetic, because every input you give, even if it's not directly connected to coronavirus, it will prevent. You are really close to the industry that's trying to to progress in this field. So thank you very much for your job. And we hope in this way we are contributing a little more in this tough situation in all over the world. So this is the certificate diploma that you will get, the certification you will get once you finish to do all the process. And the main idea is we upload in our website a way, some seven different cases that will provide to you the data. You will be able to feed this data in the software, and we ask questions, 4 questions, not so hard and difficult, okay? And by doing this this way of examples or test, you will be able to get this certification. The meaning of this, you will be qualified to operate the software in a good way, and you will start to see some coherent understanding of mixing and how we apply mixing in our field, in the processing. But before that, some points that are important, because we need to connect this mixing in our real life. We need to try to connect ourselves in the mission that we have in the industry. As you know, we are talking about some tool, a tool for some service that you provide to your process. The main issue always will be my process and my material, and we need to provide the conditions for it. One of the main important unit operations we use in order to provide these conditions is the mixing. So we'll talk a few minutes about the company. Of course, we need to do it. Some motivation. What is a good mixing now is very relevant in this point of view. We want to give you some certifications, and we need to highlight what is good mixing in the industry. That is the main use. About the VisiMix model, we will only touch, and we like to explain more how to operate the certification. And the part of the product will not cover all. We'll only write this in the presentation in order to provide this presentation. After we finish to you, you will be able to evaluate which kind of equipment products we have. The certification is basically working in Turbulent because it's the software that is very complete, okay? And it is giving you the basic for every other operation you will run. Of course, conclusions and discussion, all of this will be open according to your question. I will try to answer at the end of the meeting. Write anytime questions. It's important because after that, when I'm answering, I will read one by one. So as you remember, only to remind you, VisiMix is a software based in Unix. It's a Unix software based in physical models. We are solving momentum balance, we get the velocity of the flow, and once we have it with other data that you will provide, we'll be able to calculate mixing parameters that are influencing our process. So remember well, we are generating conditions to my process. So if we have a DNA, we need to open this gene, this DNA, and the opening of DNA is happening if we provide the conditions for it. If we have all the elements in the tank, but we are not providing the conditions, it will not happen anyway. So this is the place that we are working. Try to provide the conditions to get the maximum of our process. And everyone can use the software, of course, because it's simple to use. You don't need to write anything about codes. You need only to use. And of course, with the customer support to understand better and better what is the meaning of mixing parameters. The software is used in many companies in over the world, using and adapting these things in order to understand better how to answer the main question, what will happen the next step, how we manage the next step, with risk assessment, with some scientific results, with some scientific combination between the mechanism of the process and the mechanism of the flow and the mixing parameters we are generating in different equipments. As you know, the process was developed in Russia by Professor Leonid Braginsky and his team. Developed all of this. He was the chief scientific in this field in Russia. And he was in charge to provide the best of his knowledge to the industry in Russia. When they came to Israel, this excellent team, we tried to transfer all of this model in a product that will serve all the world and not only Russia. And we are really succeeding to do it and to put in our head the best way to think about mixing. And of course, all what we around the software we discussed many times, only remember, VisiMix is not a couple of correlations. VisiMix is really a complete model that tries to answer the question about what will happen in steel vessel. And for this, we use all. We use our experience. We use mathematical models. We use numerical methods to solve differential equations. And all of this combine, and of course, the huge data that we collect during the time, this team collect during the time, and these, all of them are providing to you the answer with the expertise of mixing in the world. Companies working with us, some of them in different fields, feel free when you have still a vessel, use the software. And you can contact many users of VisiMix in all over the world. They're open. One of them is Dr. Victor Atimavenga. I don't know, he's here, he's always with us, and we're very grateful from him as a group of good and prime scientific line of engineers and scientific people that work in mixing and using in the best way and helping people to understand this sophisticated unit operation. We work in a very big marketing all over the world. You can see many users, and every one of them is renewing in a good way the software in some different kinds of configuration. What is the motivation? As explained you simple. When we are facing with processes, we need to answer this group of questions. But your managing asking always, what will happen the next step? This is the main question. Please tell me, in your position, in your role, you are in charge of it. I'm going to pilot, to production, to other places in the world. Tell me if it's going well or not. What I need to do in order to be sure that the next step will run well. And this ambivalent question, and it is ambivalent because you know it's very sophisticated and difficult, but your management is thinking that, okay, you have all the skills, you have all the tools, and you succeeded. So why not succeed in the next step? So you know that the main change you are doing is the hydrodynamic of the process. And because it is multidimensional phenomena, it's taken in account different levels, fluids element interacting in different zones in the tank, the power you need to provide, the direction of the flow, and all of this is a group of parameters that are describing it, and you need to combine to your process. Crystallization or fermentation of reactions, whatever you are doing, you need to try to generate the conditions that will be good for you. And if it is mixing sensitive or not, it's something that you need to understand in order to progress and to advise. So you need this tool, and you need the capability to understand the tool and to understand the results. So we would like to provide to you a capability directly to a computer to start this knowledge in a good way, to evaluate yourself about how to get the results and tips about how to understand the results. So working small equipment, you can work 100 milliliter. Take care that sometimes we're not catching all the phenomena that happen there. But if you're doing it this way and you are integrating the mixing phenomena as a part of the process phenomena, you will be able, of course, to design a better way, have a good production, and justify what you're doing. So what is a good mixing? This is the main important question. And the answer is coming from here. This example I provide to you in other occasions. Now I want to emphasize it because from here we want to take you to the certificate. A typical answer is good mixing of homogeneity, high velocity, high shear rate. this company that is a good process about some beads moving in the tank and doing some kind of reaction, okay? Had a problem. One of the equipment was broken, was not working well, and they wanted to replace the old one. You named it the reason, okay? And when they changed the equipment, start to be not so good. They thought, okay, we will do some fine tuning and we will find the solution. You know, how much will be different the mixing. We are mixing, it will be okay. But they see, they understand from the R&D that the oxygen is destroying one of the materials that they have there. And now it was beads, solids, moving in the tank, okay? This was the process. So better homogeneity will be good because we are distributing the process in the tank. But oxygen generate hydrolysis. And what happened really when they analyze the results, so they do some trial and error, as explained before, that fine tuning, etc. They understand that the older impeller, all the bits were found in the lower part of the tank. And this was the reason that avoid contact with the oxygen and generate good results. So it's now opposite what we think. Because if you have homogeneity, you think it's good, but in this case it's very bad because the homogeneity of the solids in the tank generate bad results. So when we're catching it and we're disconnecting between good mixing and good process, and we know that mixing is only a tool, and maybe good mixing will be not so good distribution of solids, now we're catching the situation. And for this, we need to know how to feed the data, to know what will be the distribution of the solids, and to combine it with the mechanism of the process. They succeeded to catch the problem, but a little late. The cost was 6 months of launch delivery of the tank, and they need to redesign the tank because the tank that they designed before that was no good. The other reason is that this tank was designed by a subcontractor, and when you don't have all the background in front of you and you pass to other place, you need to be sure that the data is coming with all the background. So it takes time and it takes many discussions because you know you are associative. You are taking some points and another points to explain the situation. So here is our point. Here is the reason that we need to start to educate ourselves. And if you know, of course, to enjoy the use of the software. And people that starting in this industry, it is very critical. So take it as a part of your own professional story. And we are trying to give you in automatic way this. So you can see the older equipment, this kind of flow pattern generate many solids in the lower part of the tank flowing, but in the lower part of the tank, the new equipment should be very good, but it's not giving me the results. I'm taking the materials from the top, have very high connection to the heat space, and we have no good results. So this is the history. So what are the main considerations we need to take when we are talking about scale up, about transfer processes? So I wrote 3-4 points that are very important because there are common considerations that sometimes we are not taking a good way and generating some experiments that are not relevant. Okay. For instance, the first and very simple one: when you are in the lab, you have very small equipment. Yes. And when you go to production, even if you go to tens of liters or hundreds of liters or thousands of liters, of course, you are increasing the dimension, yes? But if you remember about Reynolds number, that it is the number that gives me the capability to understand if I am in the laminar regime or the turbulent regime, meaning of this in organized flow laminas, that the mass transfer is not so good there. Or very no organized eddies moving in the tank and interacting, that is very good mass transfer. Now we need to understand that if we want to have the same turbulence or the same mixing pattern, we need to coordinate between the velocity that will generate in small equipment to a big equipment. So if we're working in the lab with low velocity, high of the probabilities will be in the laminar regime. And if we go to the next step at normal velocity and we get high Reynolds number, we will be in turbulent regime. So when we are working in two different levels of mass mechanism of mass transfer, laminas versus eddies moving randomly, now we are a completely different mechanism of flow that, of course, will generate deviations in our results. So take care. Try to work in the same regime. This is one of the typical points. A second point, super critical. You go to production and people tell you, okay, this is the equipment we will go in the production. And they told you, but we have not enough raw material, but we will use this equipment. It will be a very good approach to use the same equipment with low volume. If you doing the same equipment with the low volume and you're using the same velocity in the low volume and big volume, it's completely different flow. So you think that you did scale up because you're using the same equipment, but inside the equipment, you are doing a scale up, okay? Because you are changing the flow, so you have to adapt the conditions to generate the same results. And it is very, very typical because you want to release more material. You have no volume in the pilot, you need to go to production from 1 liter, let's say, to 100 liter, 1,000 liter. And no, use small, lower. No, 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 no. When you are using small volume, you need to adequate the RPM again, the feeding time again, the heat transfer again, because it will be different. If you go to big volume, completely different distribution of energies. Maybe you have another impeller in the same shaft that's changing your results. And it is a very typical succeed that maybe was not succeed. You succeeded in small volume, but you increase the volume, you have completely different flow, and you thought that you are fixed. You finalize your history. Other very important point: lab flow velocity versus impeller tip velocity. The flow is not only happening around the tip velocity, impeller tip velocity. Okay. The tail velocity is maybe the maximum one you will achieve, but after that you have to distribute. And if the equipment is radial on axial, is flowing the material to the wall or to the top or bottom of the tank, this uh, direction of the flow will change dramatically the diffusivity and the capability to progress. Okay, so don't try to generate the same impeller type velocity as the universal parameter for scale up. Some of the unit operations will be controlled by impeller type velocity. We will show to you, but not all of them. Okay, so when you are going in the lab, taking account, and in the production too, but in the lab is very typical, you need to take in consideration the flow that you are generating on all the tank. And depending on the process, use the high place energy or the shear rate or the valve where you feed the material. This is a complete history. Okay, so impeller type velocity can be, it is a good candidate to be one of the parameters for the scale up, but not always is alone and not always is the unique one. Okay, and some of the cases it's only the starting point. And like this, many more. Okay, we find different kinds of concepts that the basic I tried to explain before that. We are talking about multidimensional phenomena. We talk many parameters we need to evaluate at different point of view and different levels. So this the test, the 7 tests that we upload in the certification will provide to you a different kind of processes with which parameters are important and how to calculate them. Now, once you will be able to do it, you will be able after that to generate. You will have the certification. You will be able to generate your case study. And of course, in customer support with VisiMix to go more deeply about your process, discuss more about it. We're very happy to do it. It's part of our mission to try to spread the knowledge of mixing in the industry. And for every one of them, we have many examples. Remember, we release part of my PhD, and I apply, as Merce explained, in one specific field, but I applied during many years this method that is trying to reduce the problems we have in the production step. And if you remember this video, again, I want to show many times. It's no problem for me because it's showing so clear how different hydrodynamics will generate different results. So feed, in this case, when we are feeding baffle, but it's like we have another equipment in another place, you see how different can be the mixing, how different can be the max change. And we need to calculate it. One time like this, second time like this, and the RPM is only a tool to change the condition. But really what's controlling my process is this one, the solids in the bottom, the vortex disappearing or happening in some partial way, and it happens in every equipment. So take care of it. It's our job. Only you will be able to do it. No other people in the company. So understand the process in a good way in the lab, calculate with the software what will happen in the next step. Setup in your small equipment is possible. The main configuration of the result of mixing, you will be able to provide the condition that I explained at the beginning of the way. And once you're doing it, you will be able to maybe run at the first time the process in a good way. So do it. You will have final design. You will have a complete model that answering exactly the question that you are in charge, and you will be relevant. Your answer will be very relevant for the company. So do it in a good way and use the certificate for it. You have here the methodology. I publish it in PhD and in different papers. So use it. It's very important. And we have some publications, of course. I leave it this reference, looking for different presentation. My name, Professor Leonid Braginsky, Dr. Yuri Kokotov, all of these people publish a lot of information in different papers. By then, you're able to reduce the quantity of aspect over 5, big money. Take care. By then, the company is economic one. You need to show your input. You need to show the importance of it. Not only the chemical or physical or biological processes that are very important, of course, the conditions you are providing. That's in your hands. So go ahead and do a very good job. So how is working? The certificate you will find in the website. We will upload in the website, VisiMix website, normal. You will looking for VisiMix certificates. When you click there, what will happen is will provide open to you a window that explain to you what to do. So it is cover it. Second one, okay. In this link that will be in our website, you will have the conditions, the instructions. In this page, you have 7 tests. You need to answer. We advise at the beginning of the way to download the example SB, that is very complete one, give you a brief idea about every unit operation in fast way, only 1-2 calculations. And after that, you need to register yourself, and it will open for you 7 tests. You see, here are 7 tests: single phase, batch reaction, liquid, solid, liquid, gas, liquid, heat transfer, and heat transfer semi-batch for runaway reactions, and take care about how to manage it, okay, for safety. So we have around 7 tests. You see, in this case, I succeeded to do 1 test. There we have 7 questions, okay? Some of them are yes or no, numbers, very simple one. And it is based on the VisiMix file that you will generate. Okay, so you need to log in or to register. You will get you will generate your own password, and it will enter to the previous window, and you will select every test. Once you finish to do all the tests, okay, you will get a green color for every one of them, and you will get an email that is confirming that you passed all the tests, and you have a link for the certification. You can download the certification and send to your training manager in the company to show that you are qualified to use the software. Okay. One of the examples you can see here. Okay. The first example. This is the the name of the name of the test, the problem that we are describing, and you will have all the data here. I want maybe to open it, please. Oh, okay, now open for me. I want to show you. This is the complete test, all the data here, and here we have the questions. 1, 2, 3, 2. Yes. All the answers. So this answer you need to, this question you need to answer. You upload the software with the tank, the buffer, the impeller, the properties of the media, you need to answer the question. Once you finish to do it, okay, you will get the V, green color, that it is okay. And after that, you will have the pass. You have 7 points, depending on if you answer all the questions. How long take you to do it? You do very fast, but don't it is not. I had the answer. Okay, don't think that I'm so fast. Okay, it will take you around 20 minutes, something like this. And you finish. You are okay, and you can progress to the next step. Okay, and you will get this certificate. The next part of the presentation, as you see, is only reminding some of the problems that we have normally in the industry. I will not go there. I want to show to you really what happened when you are clicking when you are clicking the registration from the beginning to the end to give you, to give you a complete view of it. And you are invited all the way to contact us. Roberto, that is our very qualified engineer in the industry, design all the questions. We prove together with our new marketing lady, Mrs. Adas Huri. And every question you will have, they will answer you in a very fast way, like normally we are doing. So when we click training, the software, this is what you will get. Okay, so you can see here all the instructions. Okay, you can do login on registration, and when you are doing it, you need to log in, okay, or register yourself. I click login, and now because I was inside, it's open, so you can start your test. Okay, I will start my test. We have only one test. Okay, the test is a group of questions. Okay, because we are preparing it not only for the basic training, we're preparing for advanced training, for a special training, for different products. Okay, this is the starting point. And when you click start your test, it's opening all the testing. Okay, when you click the question, you have here the statement. You need to generate your VisiMix file. And once you generate your file, this is the question. Question number 1. The answer will be 5710. Okay. We don't release to you the answer. Okay. And the second will be, let's say, 33. And the third question will be 77. Okay. And the fourth question will be 4360. And like this, we progress. We answer all the questions. Okay. Like this, and this one we like this. Okay. We need to upload the VisiMix file. If you don't upload, you will not get the certification. We need to see your file that you use. Okay. Ready to use, of course. And once you upload, okay, the VisiMix file, we will be able to choose the file. Maybe naming that I have here. Say this one. Okay. And you will get the picture that we have shown you here. Okay. Of course, the answer that I wrote now are not the good answers. So don't don't think that I feed now the answer and reveal to you the answer is not there. Okay. But in this way you will progress and you will get the certificate. Use it. 7, as you see here. We have 7 good examples. You see we are covering reactions, emulsifications, solid distribution, and fermentation, heat transfer, the main core of process chemist and chemical engineering and biotechnology engineering that needs in order to start to evaluate the project. And remember, you can go from the lab to production. You can go from one side to the other side. We have tools that are competing in one button. Once you finish the job, you click one button and you get the comparisons to all the projects you have there, and you will be able to do it. Okay. So this is that I wanted to share with you mainly. Okay. And again, we have many stories about how to solve problems about particle size, very interesting real problems in the industry, how they change some they match in the RPA in the equipment generate completely the particle size that the second part of the year were a failure, complete failure in the company. We're very crazy about what happened there. And it's coming from mixing, okay? Only from energy dissipation. If you know how the energy dissipation is influencing your process, these two numbers will tell you a lot about why. And it was the justification we provide, okay, to the regulatory affairs and why to change, etc. And another very interesting example, it was when we have gas liquid, copy paste from the lab to the production, the same geometry similarity. They feed one time in the lab, in the lab, 1,000 liters. Okay? They feed from Sparger, the gas, in another in the big equipment, the same geometry but bigger one. Okay, from some deep pipe, and the process went from 4 days to 4 hours to 4 days. So it's very simple. Yes, you can understand that when you have these flow patterns and you are feeding from here, all your gas is here. You have enough time to use the gas. But if you feed your material from here, the gas will go out faster. They will not enter to the high shear rate system. Okay, but how to solve? This is the big point. The point was that it was not possible to change the deep pipe in the big equipment, and they have no capability to install Sparger. So how to solve? Good question, yes. And the answer is so simple. Change the position. How to change the position? You are in the top of the tank. You have many holes, and there are holes that are straight, and there are holes that are inclinated. So we change the feeding position of the gas to the inclinated place. We enter to the high shear, and we save. We, of course, we don't get the 4 hours, okay? But we have 14 hours, not 4 hours, not 4 days. You need big problem that only to see the flow patterns, to understand what's going there, what is the mechanism of the process, giving you the result. And this coming from the simple click feeding calculation. This equipment is very normal, and you have in every company. So use it, it's important. Okay, and of course the sensibility of the shear rate in the impurities of some process. How, when you have impurities, you can connect directly with the turbulent shear rate or the energy dissipation, because those parameters are controlling the diffusivity when you have fast velocities. So in this case, it was clear that under this range of work that you have normally in the equipment without high shear rate, this is the order of magnitude that you can generate. So you will have always impurities in this level. But when you increase the shear rate, the diffusivity, even if local, you get zero impurities. And the solution was to install this rotostator close to the feeding position. So the feeding position enter to the rotostator, react because it's fast reaction, and release a product that was even close to zero impurities. Okay, so this is very interesting. So it was an overview. This is the list of products we have. You are invited for contact us. We are able to provide a presentation a little different, more focuses in the main points of mixing for company, and explain every one of the applications. So you have here all the products, turbulent, laminar, different impellers that are you can identify very fast. Turbulent and laminar for the regimes. Installations that are different impellers in the same shaft, high shear rate, off-center and bubble columns. This is kind of mixing that we can generate the outputs, and how to evaluate. It will be database. You can install database all of your equipment and combine to the results. You can see fluid elements moving in 3 dimensions, and you can see scale up, scale down. and process evaluation in 1-2 buttons. So you ask now, I want to keep things the same. Solid distribution, which parameter is important? The software gives you the parameter and give you in the geometry similarity every size you want. So you go to the big size with the similarity geometry, and after that you can compare every equipment you have, real equipment with the best prototype, and to see how far you are. And you will discover that you are not so far in most of the cases. You have an equipment that is relevant, and you can be confident that the result that you're looking for and the answer you are providing to your company is relevant. You are sure what you are doing and confidence in your very good and important profession you have in your hands. So enjoy it all. All of this will provide to you, okay, so this presentation, you have here the explanation of every product we have. Only come visit our website. We have YouTube. We have all the presentation in the website. You have YouTube channel. This presentation will be there. And remember, and of course, testimonials of our customers that were amazing about how is the influence of this very thing, simple but very sophisticated. The changes that generate a lot of saving in companies. You can see millions of dollars to 20 million of dollars, and we have like this many. Many of them we cannot publish because the customer don't want. But by the end, remember always, we have a complete model of mixing for steel vessels that based in fundamental of fluid, in mixing parameters, in huge data that we collect and catch phenomena, and all of this with the customer support that people that would like to spread mixing in your company to save money and time for you and become you the best of the professional in your team, the best of the professional in your role, because it's really required in the industry. So thank you very much. I will come to the chat and try to answer some questions, okay, from the beginning. I hope we have enough time to do it. But anyway, this question you can contact me, contact Roberto, contact Dalia, and Adas, Gad, Marcy, Aldo, everyone in the team. We will be very happy to answer. And if you want to have a customized presentation for your company, we of course are very great for you. Okay, the first question we have is minute, please. Will the slide presented? Of course, we will present, we will send to you, we will send to you. We would like to design mixture for complete removal of solvent, less than 1%. When viscosity as well as torque will be excessive, excessive, and heat transfer poor, material subsequent, so on, okay. Okay, this is a typical question. Yes, you need to combine all of these processes because you cannot tell the mixing, stop it, I have to remove the heat. No, it's happening together. So the software is able to provide to you the conditions you are generating, and from this, we're able to know what is the heat transfer, what is the mass transfer, how to remove, etc. Of course, it's part of the job. Mixing effectively without buffer, the mixing effectively without buffer is depending on the process. This is some of the points that I wanted to emphasize. Good mixing, good process is something that we need to try to disconnect. Mixing conditions to my process. For some of the process, buffer will be very good. For other process, buffer is a complete disaster. So we don't know. It's depending what is your process requiring. For instance, if you are breaking solids, you don't need the buffer. Okay, maybe you have this contact between the solid and your buffer are breaking your material. So we don't like to have it. Okay, and so mixing with scrapping. Yes, we are able to design and provide the addition scrapping to the all parameters of mixing we are providing. Oh, hydrogenation and as well as dehydrogenation. Yes, we have two big and very professional presentations on our website. Contact us, we'll send to you two professional people with two companies. One of them is Dr. Reinaldo Machado. I hope he's here or not. And another one is Mr. Nunu Rosa from Hobion. They provide us an amazing presentations about hydrogenation, how to characterize very professional one from Dr. Renato Machado, and the second one, how to implement in different equipments in the production, and how to detect problems and improve by about 50% the productivity, something like this. And it is in our website. We can send to you the link. Adaptation times, of course, this is exactly it. He improved, he reduced the time. It was very exciting. Okay, I'm not comfortable with using the software. Even I thought I am a chemical engineering. I think that the main important point when we are comfortable or not is depending what we are looking for. We are trying to provide to you the best information in short time to generate results, and this certificate is exactly for it, to become you the best and comfortable user. And we know that sometimes the mixing parameters are not so well known. And for this, you feel that maybe it's not so good, many parameters we don't understand. This is exactly the starting point. Structured well, step by step, and always you have ourselves. Contact us. We want to help you. It's our duty. People in India, it's coming from India, this question. We have a very good people in India, Mr. Malvilla and his team will do all the best to answer your questions. We have a very good customers there. And say my regards to people in India. We love them and take care about COVID and go ahead with good situation. Can I take the help of person comfortable with using the software, but it's not engineer? Yes, the use will be the same. You don't will feel problems with the feeding data. In the results, we have a structured training. So you can start with this basic and certificate, but we're providing to you after that, again, a basic but online with some support people. And when you feed the data for your project, you can send us the data, the VisiMix file, and what you intend, what is your problem, what you're looking for. And we sit together with you and we advise which parameters maybe will be important for you. You will collect it in the mixing and in the experimental result that you design and try to avoid the problems that I explained before that. And after that, we sit again and get conclusions together. It's part of our normal way of training plan. It's for every new user, for every user that you're working in the industry. Once you have the software in your hand, of course, it's our pleasure to do it. Okay. Can I help for uploading the file from non-engineer? Okay, yes, amazing. Thank you very much, amazing, Marcos, Vinicius Aquino Lopez. Thank you. We like to hear people that like our presentations. It's motivated us to continue. Currently, I only have access to VisiMix SV release. Will I need the full version? Of course. The SV is a good tool to give you a very good idea about how to work. And if you go follow the SV, you have like a pre-certificate. If you succeeded there, it's supposed that you will succeed in the complete test. Of course, in the complete test, you have more tips about what is the meaning of the parameter, etc. But yes, you need to be part of our community. We are doing very hard work on it, and we want that it will be effective. Because if you don't have the software, you use one time, it is not enough. It's not connected to your real life. It's good, but it is not the best way to spread your knowledge. So use the software. We have very good starting point price for the starting people. People that came to this presentation will enjoy with very good discount when they will start to work. We have this list in front of us. So start, only start. You know, we can discuss a lot, but starting is the best way to prove. Once you will start, the question it will be know how, it will be know if it will work or no. You will get the result, you will succeed. It will be how to implement better, how to be better in our team. And so start to work, it is not so high price. Can we get this, of course, the presentation, of course, to understand bioproducts? Yes. In order to understand bioproducts, we need to have a presentation with you. I will explain a little more about it. And the best way is you send to me some typical example in your company we will be able to set up and to show to you live how we set up from the beginning of the way and how to get good solution. I want to know bubble columns. Yes, it's part of the knowledge, it's part of the product. We have in our website the release product presentation. Then we can send to you the link. Okay, you can find in the VisiMix products the link that provide to you all of this. Thank you very much from people from India. And I think another question here. Can you tell how to solve VisiMix sums in theoretical by software? I don't really understand the question, what you mean by VisiMix sums. We can maybe elaborate together with people in India. Please contact us separately. I understand the question well. How to go about the design the systems? Yes, you have a very many freedom parameters that you can play with them. But for this, we have the typical design. Okay? Some range of work of every dimension in the impeller and the tag and the relationship between them. This is a good starting point. Okay, and it is very typical in every handbook of mixing by Dr. Victor Timoben that did a very good job on it, and in many presentations, this part is very well known, how to design. But remember, when we design, we're designing to a process. So we need to be sure that we know the flow that is good for the process in order to design. Remember the examples. We design for good mixing, for good solid distribution. It was not good. Okay? So take care on it. But once you know your flow, normally typical design is very well known. You can have some review in the Google. In the software, you have this some of this relationship well explained. And from this, you can change according to what you need. Impeller Kato solution. Yes, of course. Kato is a very good and reputable company. They are generating very good equipment. We are able, of course, to provide the input that they will need in order to help them to design when you know what is the flow that you reach. Many of the parameters we provide to them, they use in order to design, in order to prove in different tools. We're very happy on it. Training classes conducted for help. Yes, we are doing for the customer. Once you are the customer, we are doing sessions of basic training, main trainings. When we have no corona, we travel to companies to do internal seminars. In India, we perform and conduct different seminars, one-day seminar of mixing in Hyderabad, in Mumbai. In USA, it's a little more difficult, so we are doing per company, because it's big places and it's difficult to organize all. And you know, in this time that we have Zoom and these kind of tools, we are setting a new project, and you have some change in design optimization. Yes, exactly. This is the use. So enjoy it. I wanted to answer all the questions that we have here. About mechanical design, yes, we have the main important parameters for mechanical design. That is the velocity that we have vibration on the shaft, the capability to avoid break of the shaft by bending. So we have all of this way to calculate. Of course, in this field, people that are designing equipment, of course, expertise, this starting point will give you a very good starting point in their side to provide to you the best dimensions for allowing this kind of products. Thank you very much for the questions and for interest. Thank you very much to be with us all the way. We really appreciate it. It's giving us all the motivation to continue to spread this field and to feel comfortable that people are coming, trying, interesting to progress. And we are trying to give you the best that we can in order to contribute a little more in this in the industry and in this specific field that this is so important, and sometimes we forget. It is so simple. We are preparing our coffee every day. We are moving our coffee, and always the coffee is okay. We think that like coffee will be my project, and the project is is a little different. We need to take care, okay, and to implement. And you know all of you need don't need to remember. We are here in order to remind you well and to try to progress together with you to generate many and good results. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to meet you again in the next meeting, in the forum. We have some very interesting forums that are coming. And enjoy it. Thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.